Welcome to the Matt Cottrell Report. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We got a really special guest. I'm really excited about our guest today because he's just as excited about amateur filmmaking as I am. So excited, in fact, that he's created a Facebook group called Film San Angelo. It's open for anyone and everyone who loves filmmaking to join. He now lives in San Angelo. He's from Wisconsin.
For having me.
Absolutely, dude. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, man. It really has. So the way we came about meeting was, I'll just give the audience a little background on that. So you are the head of, and from what I understand, you created the San Angelo Film Association Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
For amateur filmmakers. And what you do is when someone ask someone to join the group, then you'll do a little sit down interview with them, kind of find out what their interests are, what kind of background they have in filmmaking, and so we're gonna do that later. But we went to have coffee, and I told you kind of what I've done. You told me what you do, and we just kind of hit it off and started talking about some potential projects we're gonna do.
Good energy.
Exactly, dude. Which we got something lined up for you guys pretty soon, hopefully. But for those of us in Angelo who don't know you or anything about you, look into that camera, give them your elevator pitch, tell them who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Jeremy Steele. I am a guy who wants to interject energy, excitement, resources, hopefully, into building a film community here in San Angelo. So, yeah, that's kind of my quick...
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to thank our sponsors. Let's start with Maximus Nutrition. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Guys, if you're looking for protein powder, pre-workout, multivitamins, anything, I'm telling you, they have qualified staff and they will sell you some of the highest, best quality products in the Concho Valley. I also want to thank Angelo MMA and Fitness. If you're looking to lose some weight, to put on some muscle, or if you're looking to get serious about fighting with MMA, Angelo MMA and Fitness is your spot. Also, the Re-Up. So for everything fresh, nutritious, and delicious, the Re-Up San Angelo. I also want to thank Rusty Bartolomeo. He's the Einstein of real estate. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, E equals MC sold with Rusty Bartolomeo. And lastly, I want to thank San Angelo Performing Arts Center. Thank you, everyone, for sponsoring the Matt Cottrell Report. Now back to the interview. So first off, let me ask you, what is your background when it comes to film? Were you an RTF guy? Did you go to college and study? What's your background in filmmaking?
No.
Okay.
I did not go to college for it or really have any official training in it.
Interesting.
Kind of like we discussed over coffee, you making home movies when you were growing up, same thing.
Heck yeah.
I would say the funny part about my story is we didn't have a video camera.
Okay.
So I remember my brothers and I and neighborhood friends, we would just kind of go outside, do a little hand thing. I think most of the time I was like the director.
Yeah.
I remember this one time where they were doing something on the baseball field, so they had a big pile of dirt. And I remember, we found a board, we kind of buried half of it, and I had them run up the hill, and I was kind of down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they would step on, hit that board.
Yeah.
And so dirt would fly up.
Okay.
And right behind them, right, like a war scene or whatever.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So it looked super awesome. I'm looking through my hands.
Yeah.
Looked super awesome, super good. And then it was like, well, we didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
So
y'all were literally doing this? Dang.
So we were doing that, just all the time, coming up with skits and stuff.
Yeah.
And then kind of in maybe my high school years, one of the families at church, they had a video camera. And so every now and again we could borrow that.
Okay,
and do some stuff. But I still got some of those old tapes. But man, there was so much stuff where we were just using our hands and
that's awesome,
messing around. And so anyway, kind of like you were saying, making home videos. Did that growing up, and then I did a year of college. This was in Wisconsin, but I was like, man, that acting bug, that itch. Took some theater courses. They didn't have much of a film program or anything.
Right.
But man, I just kind of picked up and moved out to LA.
That's so crazy that you did that, man.
Spent a year out there, and I was working on, I guess I was paying the bills, was doing extra work on big, Hollywood TV shows, movies, that sort of thing. So, I'm just a background artist.
Right.
But got to see some really cool stuff. You keep your eyes open, and you learn a lot. And then, kind of on the weekends, afternoons, whatever, when I wasn't on a paid gig,
right.
I was doing like student films, independent films. You know, I remember going to Arizona on a shoot. Vegas, went to Vegas, and then of course all around LA. But that's, I would say, like, all my kind of professional experience this was back in '99. Now, I always tell people, I was the poorest I've ever been back then. I was living in this place where, I was thinking back, it had a hole in the bathroom, so kind of had like a studio apartment. It was like the second floor of a house was all these studio apartments, shared a common bathroom. Yeah. Had a hole in the floor. The owner had cats. They were crapping all over the place.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Man, I've
lived in a place like that before.
It was bad. But I was doing what I loved, what I was passionate about, and so. But, I kind of got to the point where I was like, all right, I got to kind of grow up, man up. Yeah? I remember I'd been there about a year, and rent was coming up, and I was a little short. And, first time since being on my own, I had to call my mom and ask her for rent. I was like, man.
How old were you then?
Was I 19?
Okay,
And I was like, I can't be doing this. So that's when I joined the Air Force, and I thought, okay, I'll have a steady paycheck. I'll buy my own gear, try and do something in the Air Force. I ended up getting on the technical side of like production, working on film gear, edit systems, projectors and stuff like that. So making a paycheck, buying equipment, kind of making some shorts on the side, and it really kind of just went from there. Did some advertising work after leaving the Air Force, and all the while working on short films, auditioning, doing theater stuff. So kind of, I've always kind of been there, tapping into it, always interested, and but still kind of keeping that real job.
Exactly.
To pay the bills and stuff. So I mean that kind of brings us up to when you and I met, and actually Yuki put us in contact.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like, man, just to kind of meet someone who's passionate about filming, and then you told me about your shorts, and we had actually, I don't know if you'd say met, because
I'm Bud.
I'm Bud. Yeah. So I remember.
Did we meet then?
I was trying to think.
I was too. I mean, we had to, but we just probably didn't remember. Yeah.
Met each other name wise, but I know from working on set, I was like, man, leave the actors alone, see if they want water, try to be of service or whatever. I was a production assistant. So, I'm just trying to make myself a value.
Sure, yeah.
If I see someone, moving something, or, ask, hey, how can I help out?
Exactly,
If you're an actor, hey, can I get you a water or whatever? But, I just, I don't want to be making small talk when you're trying to learn your lines.
Right. That's probably the general etiquette, huh? I mean, because you've come from a little bit more of a background with that. Like for me, I mean, if you would have come up to me, I would have not known any different. Sure. But I mean, I'm sure that's generally how you're supposed to act in that situation if you're a PA, right?
I don't want to ever be seen as a nuisance or a hindrance or whatever. Just try to offer value.
Yeah. For sure.
To whatever's going on.
Yeah. That Bud experience, we've talked a little bit about that. For me, I had done some little projects, but that was kind of the biggest project that I've ever done. Yeah. And I was like really impressed with, I guess, just the fact that, for one, they had like a shooting schedule. They had, everybody had their lines, everybody had their roles they were playing. Everybody was like really committed. And then when we actually got to shooting the thing, they had some pretty decent equipment, and they knew kind of what they wanted. what angles they wanted.
Yep.
And it was pretty fascinating to me, man.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was, even though it was on a much smaller level.
Yep.
And for you, it probably wasn't the most impressive looking thing in the world, but for me, not having a lot of experience with that, I was like, man, this is pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
it made me even more excited to want to do it,
Yeah.
Because I'm like you. I always had the acting bug too. I always did acting. I did theater stuff. I did plays. I was really into acting. But I loved the other side too, creating and producing.
Yeah.
And so I just love all of that, dude.
Yeah.
And so it was cool whenever Yuki got us in contact, and
Yep.
I found out, well, because he had mentioned that you had this group on Facebook. I had just not made the connection with you yet. So I was glad to do that. So what was your intention creating the Facebook page? Why do that in San Angelo? Because we didn't have that, first of all, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it kind of goes, I guess it's kind of a selfish reason.
Yeah.
When so the Air Force is what brought me here
Yeah,
to San Angelo.
that's right. Yeah.
And then once I did my 4 years and got out, I was doing the marketing, commercial type production.
Yeah.
So I was doing like short films and stuff kind of on the side. I started doing some theater, got to know some
Nice.
people, so it kind of had my own crew.
Yeah. Okay.
And then kind of fast forward quite a few years, I'd moved to Austin, moved to Midland, came back, had a daughter,
Yeah.
kind of was out of the San Angelo scene for a while. A lot of folks that, were part of my crew had either moved away or had passed away.
Dang.
And so one of the ladies that helped me out a lot, she was like, hey, when are we going to do some films
Yeah.
and stuff? And I was like, man, I'd love to, but I've kind of been out of it for a while, at least out of the San Angelo area. And like, man, so-and-so's gone, so-and-so
Yeah.
passed away. Like, kind of like, I don't know anyone anymore.
Right.
So I had heard about some stuff going on here and there, and didn't know any of the folks involved, and so I kind of knew there were little pockets of
Right.
filmmakers around, and I thought, man, I just need to, I don't know, start a Facebook group and call it something something relevant.
Yeah.
Film San Angelo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Filming in San
It's
Angelo,
perfect.
Film
Yeah.
San Angelo. So that's why I started it. Is like I said, kind of selfish for me. I want to get to know
Yeah.
other filmmakers, and if I can help them out on their film, great. If they can help me out. So
Yeah, dude.
that's why I started it. And then, like you said earlier, I've just been really trying to get to know people. If I find out, hey, they've done something in film, a thing or two,
Yeah.
then I want to interview them, kind of tell their
Yeah.
story, because my whole goal is to kind of build a community
Yes,
where we
dude.
all know each other.
Yes, we need this.
We can, hey, I know so-and-so, let's get them to act.
That's right. So and so does makeup. Or,
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
dude, we
So
need this.
I
Yeah.
want it to be a resource for folks
Okay. Yeah.
in the community, and then in the meantime, I'm just kind of getting to know each of the people. I get
Right.
to introduce them to the group so that everyone else knows them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been the why I started it.
Yes,
So, yeah.
dude.
But it's been
Man, I'm
so
excited.
cool. getting to
Yeah.
know
How many
people.
members now do we have?
I think it's around 140.
Okay. Awesome.
So
Dude, so what I'm excited because like we talked about the other day, like I foresee this being, like you said, it's a resource because I remember when we were making our little short Carney
yeah.
thinking, we were like, we need somebody who does makeup. Who does makeup? And I kept trying to think, and it ended up being one of the actresses. She actually contacted us because she heard we needed somebody to do makeup.
Cool.
And we had somebody else in mind for the role of the girl, the main character. Turns out she was an actor, a really good actress. So she ended up being our lead actress, and kind of forgot about the makeup thing. And we were like, crap, now we don't have anybody to do makeup. So
Yeah.
we just kind of did it on the fly. And it would have been nice to have, that resource, and
Yeah.
for lots of reasons. But, like we talked about, what I'm excited about, dude, is like building this community, this film community, to where, like you said, so-and-so's got a project going, maybe we're helping on that, but then you have something going, or we're collaborating and doing something everybody's kind of helping each other out to make these projects, and even maybe creating something like where it's a community deal where, you know, we have a contest to make a short, and whoever makes the best short wins a prize or something. And maybe that short gets turned into a feature film or something, or maybe the community gets behind it. It'll bring more legitimacy, I think, to the filmmaking scene in San Angelo.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I feel like get outsiders more involved in it as well, into filmmaking. Sure. Yeah. So, dude, I love this, man, that you're doing it.
I wanted to back up a little bit when we were talking about Bud. The thing that impressed me is maybe it wasn't like a huge production, but it was a feature, right? And so when you're used to kind of folks going out on the weekend and doing a short little whatever 5-10 minute thing, those guys were doing a full feature, and now it's out on
Amazon.
It's out on Amazon.
Crazy.
I think maybe a couple other places.
Do you know how do you get something up on Amazon like that, like a feature film?
So I'd put a film up there years ago.
Oh, you did? Nice, dude.
But that was back when like DVDs were the thing, and it was standard def. If you know anything about cameras, that was so many years ago. So I know you don't have to be part of a distribution company to go through them at that time. Right. I don't know what has changed now, but in just kind of doing a little bit of research over the years as I kind of do, I think you can still contact them directly. Okay, yeah. But if you, it's up to them. Yeah. But if you want to go to like, what is it, Tubi or Hulu or Apple or Netflix, like you've got to go through an aggregator or a distributor.
And do you have to pay to get it up there? I guess it depends.
For Amazon, I don't think so. There's a whole laundry list of artwork, the film itself. They're going to have certain standards. Your audio's got to be a certain thing, and all that. So as long, my understanding is as long as you go to them with all your stuff, I see, and all it passes QC, I see, and stuff like that. My understanding is you can kind of just upload. But I mean that's a job, right? That's a job to get all that stuff and be able to pass QC. Like just stuff like if you have a blank frame, like one in your entire 2-hour movie, like they'll catch that. If you have like an audio pop or something like that, my understanding is they've got it all like AI algorithm where it'll.
Interesting.
So I mean, it's kind of neat, but it's also like, oh man, like if you spend all that time uploading all that and then they say nope, you didn't pass, now you got to go figure out what was wrong and all that. So it's crazy. Once you have a film made, like it is a process to then get it quality control checked, get it out there, have all your artwork, because you got like a still picture that goes up on the menu when you're searching through stuff. You got your little paragraph description and all that. It's a big deal that they finished a feature. They premiered it here in town.
Yeah, I mean, I have an IMDb page now. It's crazy, dude. That's so cool to me.
It's very cool.
And what else was I going to say about that? It was I was going to say something else about that. It was that's what I was going to say. So my girlfriend and I were going to rent it, right, and on Amazon, but it was $19.99 or whatever, just like renting like a new movie that comes out. And I said, no, we don't need to do that. We can see it some other way. And she said, well, we need to figure out how to buy it. Because your son, he's going to grow up and want to see his dad, especially when his dad was younger, like in a film. That's kind of cool. And I said, man, that is true, And so I don't know if you can buy it on Amazon and then just keep it. I guess you can. I don't know. Or if there's a way to get a copy of it. I should probably talk to Wit or something.
I think they have. I think as the filmmaker, you can kind of set, hey, is it available for purchase? Is it available for rent? I think to a certain degree, you can kind of choose. How much?
I see.
But dude, just talk to Wit. And see if he can get you like a DVD copy or a Blu-ray or something.
Yeah. So when you were doing extra work out in LA, how much did you get paid? How much was that typically? How much did you make on those?
I want to say a standard 12-hour day, I believe, was $125. I remember I was working on a Mel Gibson film, and
Wow.
they wanted to use my car, like have me kind of
Shut up.
come into a parking spot, and
Yeah.
and I think he was walking by or something. I remember they had to spray my headlights so the lights weren't as bright, so they
Yeah.
kind of had to diffuse them. Anyway, I just kind of pulled into the parking spot and was kind of like, "Hey, man," or whatever.
Yeah.
And I got a little bump. I think it was like 175 then. 'Cause,
Wow. That's
I was
interesting.
doing a directed, whatever they call it, directed action or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Dang, that's wild.
I would assume the rates have gone up
Yeah,
since then.
yeah.
I did some commercial work
Oh, you
years
did?
ago in
Yeah.
Austin.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of here and there, and I don't really remember what the rates were at
Right,
the time, but
yeah.
it's not much. And like I said, it's for 12 hours. Like you're expected to be there like all
Dang,
day.
dude. Is it pretty exhausting or what?
Well, most of the time it's just sitting around waiting.
Exactly.
Hurry
Yeah,
up and wait.
yeah.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And so it's not exhausting in that sense.
Right.
But then let's say you've been sitting around for 4 hours,
Exactly,
because
dude. It gets
sometimes
old.
it happens.
Yeah.
I remember working on I think it was a Disney production with Gina Davis. Now I'm aging myself. Gina
Yeah.
Davis and I can't remember the guy's name. Stuart Little was the movie.
Oh, really?
And so
Wow, okay,
So
yeah.
we were in the sound stages. They had built like a New York City park.
Okay.
They had like a big pond. Like, this is
Dang.
inside, right? So they had the
Dude,
curtains
sick.
that show like the skyline.
What?
They had trees, fake trees, and all
You've
this.
seen all that?
over.
Man, I want to
Yeah.
see that kind of production, like a stage like that. Did it look
Yeah.
real?
Oh,
like,
dude. Well, it didn't look real.
Yeah,
but
from
real
your point of
enough,
view, yeah.
real enough.
Yeah.
Like if it's just slightly out of focus or whatever. But I just remember extras. We were in extras holding for
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours,
Dang.
and then it was all of a sudden. I always kept an eye on the door where I saw the PAs coming
Uh-huh.
through, and they would be like, "Hey, we need 10 people." I just
Okay.
made sure to sit there
Yeah.
and just always be present
Yeah.
and observant.
Yeah.
And man, they, as long as you're doing that, because
Yeah.
a lot of people would just kind of sit back. They had Titanic on
Oh,
one
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
TVs there,
Keep you
just to
entertained, yeah.
keep you entertained, and
Yeah.
it's like I just always kept myself kind of that philosophy of being of service.
Yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
I don't want anyone to think, oh no, not that guy,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
just miss me because I'm, paying attention
Exactly,
to something
yeah.
else. So I remember getting on set quite a few times, just whenever they would call.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd be already right there by the
Yeah,
door.
dude.
So
That's good. You got to be. Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
But yeah, it was cool. Just and then when you're on set, just paying attention to
Mm-hmm.
where the cameras, facing and how many cameras they got and how they're shooting. You got the 180 rule, where you want to keep if you're looking down from above at a scene, and let's say you have two actors, they're facing each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's gonna imagine a line,
yeah.
between them, and you
Right.
want to keep your cameras on one side of that.
Exactly, okay.
Because then when you're cutting back and forth, for the audience
Yeah.
who's watching it, it helps them. Okay, so and so's on the
Continuity,
left
yeah,
side
yeah.
looking right, so and so's
Exactly.
on the right side looking left, and
Yep.
you're not jumping all over the
Makes
screen.
sense. Yeah, makes
So
sense.
you just pick up on that sort of thing. What do the actors do when they're not shooting?
Yeah.
touching up makeup.
Right.
all that, and then when they cut and they go off to their trailer and then they
Yeah.
reset and stuff like that.
Did you
So cool.
Did you have access to craft services?
Yeah, I mean, on a big production like
Yeah.
that, like
What do they
they're
have,
kind of
dude?
segregated.
Oh, you are?
get your
You get
extras,
the- yeah.
and then you
You
get
had your
the,
own table.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like
yeah, it was all
like,
us peons
yeah.
over here. Yeah, and
Lunchables for y'all and stuff.
yeah. Well, I mean. Again, I was the poorest they've ever been. So
Yeah, I
like,
know.
man, that's
You're like, bring
mean,
it.
breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yeah.
snacks and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was cool. But yeah, they do on bigger projects like that. A
Yeah.
lot of extras and stuff. They keep us separate from the
I see.
stars and the actors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
What happens on a big set like that? I wonder if you approach like Mel Gibson or something. You probably get in deep crap, right? If you're like, "Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to say that you're a great actor." Blah blah blah.
I don't
I bet
know
it's frowned
because I
upon.
never tried it.
Yeah.
And all the sets I worked on, I didn't see anyone try it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I never wanted to get kicked off a set.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Well, so what kind of stuff are you into? Like, what do you want to create? What kind of film shorts do you want to create?
Well, so as we kind of discussed over coffee,
Yeah.
I would like to. I mentioned my daughter earlier. She's really not intentionally, but just watching her grow up from a baby and stuff like that. It's really given me a different perspective on life, and so I'm really over the last a handful of years is like I really am kind of cued into like positive type stuff.
Cool.
Even like theology, Christian type stuff,
cool,
because
man.
it's like I've been a part of a lot of productions, and at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, well, yeah, but what's the point? And if it's not something that you can learn from, grow from, grow spiritually from, I'm just kind of, that's fine. But I would like to put my energy into something that's positive.
Yes.
At least positive. And it doesn't mean
love that, man.
It's not dirty or gritty or real.
Exactly. You
learn from it.
That's right.
You grow from it.
That's exactly right. There's a distinction there that needs to be made, that we're not talking like glossy Disney.
Not a family film.
Yeah,
no.
exactly. Right. It can be raw and dirty and gritty, like you're saying.
Heavy,
yeah. Dude, yes. I'm glad we made that distinction, because that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it needs to be that way,
Well, that's real life.
That's real life,
right?
yeah.
So
exactly.
I don't want something make a product that someone's like,
Exactly.
Yeah. I want it to be like, whoa.
Yes. Right, dude. Yes.
Make people think when they're driving home or whatever from watching the movie. But.
Yes, man. Oh, we're aligned, man, on that. So, what do you see yourself maybe doing a feature film at some point?
Sure.
Yeah. That'd be fun, huh?
I know
the right crew and stuff.
Yeah. I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Bud and I mean, what were they shooting for? Like a week and a half, I think.
Yeah, week and a half, something like that. Yeah.
And then spending, I don't know what, 6 months, 9 months doing the post work.
Yeah, the post was crazy.
Yeah, and they had a lot of their locations. Just there locally,
right?
In Miles is where it was filmed. A lot of them lived there, and so they had access to whether it was their own property,
that's right, or the bar,
friends and stuff. So, if you don't have all the locations, that's just another. I guess my point is, man, it's a big job.
It is a big undertaking.
To do all that, get everything together.
It sure is.
So.
Man.
To answer your question, I would love to.
Right,
But
that's why people start off doing shorts, right? Yeah.
Get that experience.
Exactly.
Maybe you got one location. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Film something there.
Yeah.
Find a story with an arc and something that you can leave coming away with, hey, I learned something.
Yeah.
It can't just be blah. I heard someone describe to make a story, you have to have a conflict, right? So if I tell you, hey, I went to the store the other day, went in, shopped for some groceries, got my groceries, paid for the groceries, got out to my car, drove home, like there's no conflict.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what am I listening to here? I'm and so you've got to have that, whether you've got a 5-minute piece, 10-minute piece, or 2-hour piece.
Doesn't matter,
right?
Exactly.
And that's what keeps the audience on the edge of their seat.
That's
so
right.
As long as you have that, whether it's a 5-minute thing or whatever. But the shorts help you kind of flex those filmmaking muscles.
That's right.
get used to working with actors.
Yes.
Get used to filming, lighting.
Yes.
Editing. You know,
That's
all that
what I
sort of
like
stuff.
too about it is you don't have to stick to one genre either. You know,
Yep.
you can do a
Mix it
horror
up.
piece, and then you can do one that's more of a Christian base or theological piece, and then
Yeah.
you can do a thriller type deal. I like that, man. Like you say, getting to
Cartoon.
flex those different muscles. You know,
Yeah.
that's cool, man.
I mentioned cartoon because Elena Kent,
Oh, yeah.
for any of you in San Angelo that know her,
Yeah.
She's real big in the theater space. No longer lives in San Angelo, but she just recently wrote, directed, and filmed a short film. And she's incorporating, the way I understand it, she's incorporating some animation for some of the flashback memory
Shut
type
up.
scenes. So I'm really
Is
interested.
it is it out yet? Has she released it?
No, I think she's thinking around
Man, I want to see
April.
that. Okay.
So
and where does she live now?
she's in Austin,
Okay.
and this is
I'd like
on
to reach out to
her.
her.
This is on her promotional page, so I don't think I'm
Okay.
giving anything away.
Yeah.
But she's planning on having a showing here.
Oh,
in
awesome.
town.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. That's the other cool thing, man, is we can make something together, and Yuki would be all for us
Oh, yeah.
featuring it at SAPAC, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Yep.
maybe having a little film convention up there or something.
Yeah.
And
He's-
which I know we've been in talks with he and I and you and him, and I think that's going to come together, don't you? How cool would that be?
Yeah,
a film festival.
I know they have done. I think it ran for about 5
Yeah.
years. A film festival.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been around for a
a
couple
while,
of years.
yeah.
And they did it up there
Yeah.
using the two bigger theaters.
Yeah.
But man, and this is going back to, okay, why create the group? Well, let's get that community going so
Yeah.
that when a film is made, we can all
Yes.
go out and check it out.
That's right, yeah.
Because I think the reason the film festival went away
Yeah.
is because, and I went, there was like 2 years where
You
I went to
went?
it,
Yeah.
and no one went. I mean, it was just a handful of people, and
Man,
half
that's
of those that
unfortunate, dude.
came were the filmmakers from kind of around the state, right out of the area. So it was sad because for whatever reason, just no one was really interested, and so.
Dude.
It's sad to see it go,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm kind of trying to get us
Exactly, man. We're going to do it
together
right.
in the sense that, hey, we don't all have to show up on the
Yeah.
same set,
Right.
But we can support each other.
Exactly.
When, this group's got a film they
Yeah,
just finished.
dude.
Cool. Let's go celebrate by
I love
supporting
that
them
idea.
and watching them.
That's what we need.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
we need that. That's cool,
And then it would be cool because Bud showed at the SAPAC.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
They showed it. They premiered it out in Miles. Did you go to that one out in Miles?
I did
think
not.
you did. Oh,
I
okay.
did not go to that one.
I went to that one. I didn't get to go to the SAPAC one. But what about? Are you interested? I assume you are, but in creating something, maybe really buckling down on a project, a short, and trying to enter it into some competitions, some film festivals
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, have an end goal, before you start a project is,
Yeah.
you got to think about the end before you start the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And, research if it's a horror film, research horror festivals.
Yeah.
If it's a family, research, so you got to have an
Yeah.
idea where you're going. Kind of when does your film need to be finished? Because they've got dates you got to enter by. And
That's right.
I think typically people try to go for about a year, because
Okay.
film festivals are going on,
Constantly.
all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So you kind of pick your film festivals out throughout the year. You enter them in, and
Is that something, do you think, to where if you make something that's just badass and you enter it,
Yeah.
and you're not known at all, that you still have a chance of doing really well? Or do you think it's something more like there's politics involved and you got to be entering for several years and build your name up? I mean, what do you think? Do you know?
And
I'd like to think that anybody could go up with a good piece of art, but I don't know.
I feel like it's a yes and no.
Right. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of filmmaking podcasts, and so a lot of interviews with filmmakers that are overnight successes. But you know what that means? They've been working behind the scenes for 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then finally
they have something a project that.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of those overnight successes are because they hit something great, hit it out of the park,
right? Yeah.
But then you also have the politics side where I've heard it joked about where a lot of these top 5-tier film festivals, you got to be a name in Hollywood to even get your film in, and I've never been there, so it's all hearsay. But I get it.
Some of that crap exists.
Sure. And it is what it is, right?
Sure.
If you're at the top of your
like
game,
anything else.
You're going to get into places other people don't. So,
that's right, yeah.
But whatever, at the end of the day, I'm just like, that would all be great. Yeah. But to me, this is, again, kind of going back to how my daughter has kind of changed the way I look at things is, man, I just want to hang out with friends, make a cool thing. If it gets into some festivals, great, whatever.
I like that.
I have fun making a project.
Me too, dude.
So,
creating.
Yeah. And
that's why I'm in
that.
it.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
And then whatever else happens, great.
Dude, I love that, man. Just going out and creating. That's what it's about, like you're saying.
For sure.
And creating something meaningful that means that impacts people. Yeah. I think that's the goal, man, whether you get into a festival or not. You know? So I think that's really cool.
You take that experience away with you.
Yeah.
I've heard it likened to, and I agree 100%. It's like going off to battle.
Yeah.
You've got your, compatriots, the people you're going to war with.
Yes.
And their family. I've heard it also likened to like a carnival. All the carnies, showing up into town and putting their stuff up and doing their thing and then taking off. And it's kind of like that. You work so hard because the days are so long and so grueling. I was shooting last year in the middle of summer, man, and it was like, what was it, 14, 16-hour days? I think we had a 4-hour turnaround. We were leaving at like 11, 12 at night, had to be back at like 4:30 or whatever.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Man, those are some days, but like you get to know people, right?
Yeah.
You get to know who's a hard worker.
Yep.
Who's just keep going, and you really build some camaraderie.
That's right.
Going through that, and as much as you like, it's done. All right, rest, shower, but then it's like a few days later, you're like, I miss those
exactly.
Folks, So it's cool.
I miss being in the trenches. Dude.
As grueling as it is sometimes.
Right.
But,
yeah. So, if somebody is interested in filmmaking, any aspect of it, what's the best way for them to get involved? Is it to reach out to you and get involved in the group?
I would say join the group.
Okay.
It's not like we have enough folks to where films are being made nonstop, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things. I think there's probably about a handful of folks that I'm aware of that are making stuff, and so you may have a couple of projects a year. Between them, it's trying to get folks familiar with each other enough to where they feel comfortable. Hey, I've got this project I want to do in a couple months. I need some actors. I need some crew folks. So I would say join Film San Angelo, the Facebook group, and I'm not on anything else, so I haven't started another group on Instagram or anything like that. But kind of old school that way. I've got one social media, and that's enough for me.
Well, to be honest with you, San Angelo is extremely Facebook driven, so that's the place to be doing it. Yeah, it really
I'd say just join the group.
Yeah, okay.
Start up a conversation.
Yeah.
I would say if there's anything that I'm, I don't know, disheartened might be a little strong, but there's not a lot of conversation. I do feel like I'm trying to force the conversation sometimes. And I don't know. That's why I like doing the interview videos.
Exactly.
I feel like, if I can make some people comfortable by, hey, let me introduce this person by showing an interview video with them. Maybe others will feel a little more comfortable interacting and stuff. So.
And we should put some clips of this up on the page too. That'll be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, cool, man. So I always ask everybody this at the end. What are 3 things that you're genuinely grateful for right now in your life?
I'm grateful for my daughter.
Nice.
Sometimes I catch myself, thinking some heavy thoughts, such as, man, I look back at my life, and if she wasn't here, like, I don't know if I would be here.
Dang,
and so,
yeah.
And like I said, she's really changed my perspective, and
Wow.
I think we can all be selfish. I know I was.
Oh yeah. Me too.
Having her, just like I said, it changed my perspective. So I'm thankful for her.
How old is she? 9?
She's 17.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dang, she's 17.
Yeah.
And is she into acting and stuff?
Not anymore. She was for a little bit.
Yeah.
In fact, she had, I guess she still technically does, had a YouTube channel. Her and her sister were doing some stuff.
Yeah.
She did all the filming.
Nice.
She's kind of been on some shoots here and there over the years, watched me edit and stuff like that. So bought her a little computer, and her and her sister, it was cool for them to do.
Absolutely,
Probably did about 10 episodes, and then it's work, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So
exactly,
she kind of
and she's a 17-year-old girl. She's got a life,
Well, this was, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
But
so
kids have other interests,
Yeah. So it was kind of like a fad, and I told her, I said, I will help you out as much as possible, but I don't want to be one of those parents that's like, hey, this is my passion. It's also your passion.
Where you're like, we need to make an episode. Get in here.
Yeah. I was like, look, I want you to take it serious and do it thoroughly and completely. Do a few episodes. Because it started out fun, right?
Yeah.
She wanted to do it. She sees all these kids on YouTube doing their thing, and then, after, like I said, about 10 episodes, it's like, okay, that's work. Been there, done that, moved on to other stuff. So, grateful for her. I'm grateful for friends.
Dude.
And so it's always cool to meet a person who is interested in film. I mean, I would say I have a lot of other interests and, other things that I do with my life, but to really meet someone, energetic, passionate about filmmaking, that's always cool. So I'm always looking to make new friends in that regard. And I was thinking about this preparing. I was like, what's the other thing? Third thing. Indoor plumbing.
Okay, yeah. Well, have you lived in a situation where you didn't have indoor plumbing?
I've been camping.
Oh, well, yeah. That's always something to be grateful for.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the invention.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right, man. Well, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
This was great. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, guys. You heard it here. This is Jeremy Steele. If you're interested, passionate about, curious about anything to do with filmmaking, we want you. We want you to join the page, Film San Angelo, right?
Film San Angelo.
On Facebook. Join up. Start a conversation. Get involved in a project. We'll see you soon. Take care. Perfect, dude. Great job, man.
I missed it. Was the indoor plumbing, that was your third thing?
Yeah.
That was my third thing, yeah. Man, I think back when I'm sitting on the toilet at the house in the warm or the AC is, I'm just like, man, how did they do it? How did they do it?
Yeah, you should have
I think about that too sometimes.
like a list of creature comfort things that you're thankful for.
You know what we should do? Sometimes I'll have this thought where, like, I'm taking a dump and I think about where the turd goes, like its journey.
Its life cycle.
Yeah, we should make a short.
It's
film
birthed
short.
right now. Where does?
It goes down the toilet, through the drain, passes the other turds. There's a rat maybe clinging on to it.
Well, that kind of reminds me of
That'd be
Finding
hilarious.
Nemo, because doesn't one of the fishes like go out through the sewer or something?
that's right. Yeah, it comes either up through the toilet, from the ocean or something.
Yeah.
You still rolling? Describe your turd journey.
Oh yeah. Are we still rolling?
Yeah. So, indoor plumbing. So this is a little bonus. We were saying we should create a film short of the journey of the turd. So, it was, like you said, like sometimes I'm sitting
Doesn't
there.
have to be short. It can be long.
Yeah, I guess it could. I was sitting there taking a dump, and you think about the journey of the turd. What happens? So it comes out, splashes, hits. You flush the toilet. It's birthed. You flush it. It goes down the toilet through the piping. Swirls around.
And there's some conflict there, right? It's got to maneuver.
That's
through
right.
yeah.
There's some conflict there. and then it goes through the drainage system under the house, and then through the sewer, and then
City lives a life.
lives a whole life down there with other turds, and maybe there's a rat that's like clinging on to the turd at one point. And then eventually, what happens to it eventually?
Well, I think it goes through the chemical plant cleaning process.
And then we drink
That's
it
that's the
later.
death of it,
goes
right?
into a holding pond
It goes into a holding.
east of town.
And how long is it held there?
It goes into the holding pond to decompose with bacteria,
Okay,
and it's just a green sludge.
really?
Yeah.
Do they
Until-
turn it into fertilizer or?
Well,
We recycle it and drink it.
there's two
No.
products. One product is the effluent or the water
Yeah.
has to be put back through, either discarded, used for irrigation, piped back to a treatment plant or whatever.
Yeah.
Treatment. There is a treatment process.
plant,
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do a
So
short
you-
like
so you
that, dude.
drink.
How would we do that if we did that? It'd have to be animated,
Have
probably.
to be a small camera.
You'd want to get,
Yeah, a GoPro on the turd.
you'd want to get the tour guys in town, the experts.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, it could be like
Dude,
a
that could be
documentary.
good,
mockumentary.
actually. Seriously.
Get some serious point of view.
That'd be
perspective.
hilarious.
I read an article one time about water use, and I calculated the overall number of households in Tom Green County, maybe 30,000
Yeah.
times the number of flushes per day. And I
Oh, yeah?
calculated the flow, and it's like a river.
Shut up. No joke. Dude, I bet you anything if we did that, like a mockumentary, a short version, but the journey of the turd, and we actually found out what happens to it. We had a little bit of animation in there, but we talked, just interviewed some people. I bet it would be a hit, dude. It'd be fascinating.
I think the whole thing would have to be animated.
I'm thinking the casting
Yeah,
process
maybe so.
might be a little arduous.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you watching. Thank you, Jeremy, for coming on and telling us a little bit more about Film San Angelo. Guys, get involved. If you have any kind of passion toward filmmaking, learning about filmmaking, acting, producing, lighting, makeup, you name it, get involved. Join Film San Angelo on Facebook. Jump in a conversation. Jump on a project. We're always needing people. Thank you guys again for watching.